Welcome, everyone, to the SFL playoffs. Along with Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine, and we present you the wild card round this afternoon. Paul, good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Cam. What a time to be alive in the SFL playoffs time, baby. I can't wait for the game tonight and later tonight to see all these teams in action as they make their run for the SFL championship in season 20.
It's going to be an awesome run, and today we have the Indianapolis Ramblers and the Vancouver Legion. You've got a team that has never been in the playoffs. They're pretty new to the SFL, and you've got a team that is very used to being in the playoffs. Vancouver, they have won their last six consecutive first-round playoff games, 6 in a row, 7 overall. They're 7-0 in their first game of the playoffs this season. So what's going to be the difference, Paul, when you got two totally different teams here for two totally different reasons?
The difference in the Week 9 matchup where Indianapolis beat Vancouver, the difference was Kanye Rockefeller. He stepped up massively in Week 9, and the difference for Indianapolis tonight is going to be the secondary. If their secondary can create turnovers and get the ball back for their offense, that's going to be key for them to win. The key for Vancouver is their defense has been dominant all season long, number one defense in the league. But their offense is no slouch either, top 10 in the league offense. As long as the turnovers can be kept to a minimum for Vancouver and they can control the ball and play their game, that's going to be the key for Vancouver. And it's going to be an exciting game, and can't wait to call it here with you later and see what happens, Cam.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Paul. Indianapolis and Vancouver comes your way next on Next Level Sports. Can't wait to get the playoffs started. We'll be right back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Vancouver, Canada, where this afternoon it's the Vancouver Legion and the Indianapolis Ramblers in the wild card playoffs right here on Next Level Sports. Good evening. I'm Cameron Irvine alongside Paul Sarp, Ron Haynes, Ben Warner. Let's get the playoffs started in old Canada. Paul, welcome to the postseason.
I appreciate it, Cam. Excited to be here in Canada with you tonight up in the booth to kick off season 20 SFL playoffs. And it is going to be a great one and a battle between Indianapolis and Vancouver. Both of these teams hungry for an SFL championship, and we're going to see one of these teams tonight come out on top, move on to the next round. And boy, I am extremely excited for kickoff and to see this game unfold.
These two teams met on national television here on NLSE Week 9, and Indianapolis was able to pull it out with some special teams heroics. We'll see who truly is special tonight as Colin Pierce, the Indianapolis quarterback, calls tails, wins the toss. They'll defer. Vancouver will get the ball to start the football game. 20th anniversary season. It doesn't matter how much we do it. It doesn't matter how many simulations they've been. It's all exciting in the playoffs. Your 10 seed, your 7 seed, a pair of 7 and 5s. We got plenty of those in this bracket. Mr. Paul Sarp, the ball's on the tee. The hands in the air, top, Kiefer. Let's go. Kick it. We're underway. From the 7, it's Justice Blackwell on the return, and Blackwell gets it up to the 27-yard line. Christian Brown, 3,597 yards this season, 9th in the SFL. Doesn't get sacked a whole lot. Indy doesn't get that pressure. Just as you were saying in pregame, Paul, this Indy defense could be the difference today between a win or a loss.
Most definitely, and just last week against Tulsa, their defensive front had 5 sacks, so they are definitely going to have to step up once more tonight.
4 wide with Christian Brown out of the shotgun to start on first down. Play fake to Robert Redford. Will dump it off short. That pass is incomplete. Hector Huxley was bothered by Angel Maldonado in coverage. Will set up a 2nd and 10.
And that was a great coverage to start for Indianapolis. Great tight coverage on the receiver, not allowing him to secure the ball and get some yards for his team. And we're going to see here 2nd and 10 for this Vancouver offense.
2nd down to the 27. Indy will come out in a dime look. Again, a 4 wide start for Vancouver. Brown going to sling it over the middle. That's caught by Blackwell. A pickup of 8 yards on the play. Wrapped up by the former number 1 pick and one-time All-Star Bryant James, 3rd and 2.
And in their Week 9 matchup, Bryant James showed out, able to get an interception and create a possession and an opportunity for his team. Let's see if Bryant James is going to be able to step up again once more tonight.
At the 34, Brown throws again, this time out to Redford. Race for the sticks. Redford's got it. First down, wrapped up by Chris Britt in the 3rd. Let's meet the rest of this Vancouver Legion offense. Brown and Redford in the backfield along with fullback Sawyer Stern. Justice Blackwell, Hector Huxley receivers on the inside. Outside, it's Brett Killian and Chris Curtis. Tight end James Walters. Left side of the line, pay attention. Mike Coverson at tackle. Michael Percoco at guard. Curtis and Killian on the outside combined 8 All-Star appearances. They are both 2023 Hall of Fame finalists. So is that man, Robert Redford, picking up 7 to the Vancouver 45.
And getting Robert Redford involved is going to be crucial for Vancouver. Last week only had 17 carries for 31 yards in their 13-9 loss to Portland.
2nd and 3. Outside Redford, and Redford's got a first down. They're using him out of the backfield early and often. Blake Prine with the tackle, but another first down for Vancouver.
And throwing the ball to Robert Redford is something Vancouver has done extremely well with this season. Had 86 receptions out of the backfield, which is 13th in the league in this season.
2 minutes in, first down for Vancouver. They're on the move. 3-3 look out of Indianapolis's defense. They're going slants. Now they dump it off to Redford because he's open. Redford gets 5 to the Indy 46-yard line. Really nice check down there from Christian Brown. He's off to a 4 for 5 beginning.
And just last week for Christian Brown, struggled a little bit against Portland. 24 for 44, 211 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. So the turnover battle is going to have to be crucial for him, and he's going to have to make smart decisions.
Offside, Redford stopped. Yeah, I'd say he struggled a little bit, Paul. It was rough. I mean, Portland had Vancouver's number this season, but if you take out the Fleet games, Christian Brown played much better against the rest of his competition. as Indy's jumping offside culprit was Jabril Curse. We'll see if that's enough for a first down here shortly.
Yeah, to your point, Cam, Christian Brown this season, 321 out of 446, has managed 3,597 yards, which is good for 9th in the league. So, as you mentioned, against everyone else other than Portland, he's played phenomenally this season.
Second and short does not give them a first down off the offside. 3-minute drive to start the game. And they jump again. Brown outside to Redford. That is enough for a first down. I think they'll take the penalty, though. Indianapolis showing the early signs of, the equivalent of a playoff spring chicken.
And yeah, with them, this being their first playoff game in franchise history, the nerves are definitely showing here as back-to-back offsides calls. But once they let the game come to them and can kind of settle down and just focus at the task at hand, I'm sure this defense is going to be very stingy against a high-flying Vancouver offense.
That one was on Rocco Rossi. First down and 10 at the Indy 36-yard line. Handoff, Redford got some blocks, left side, Redford past the 20 down to the 18-yard line, running behind the strength and the toughness up front. Vancouver's in the red zone.
Robert Redford is proving once more why he is one of the best running backs we've ever seen in the SFL. All-time, currently second in carries, yards, rushing touchdowns, right behind BDG Hollywood, and there's a reason why he's on the ballot for the Hall of Fame this season, Cam.
Pulling guard Michael Percoco just rocked Blake Prine on that run. First and 10 at the Indy 18-yard line. 4-minute opening drive. Christian Brown looking down the middle of the field, and another piece of tight coverage from the Indy defense. No call. That's the second potential PI they could have thrown. Blackwell was the intended receiver.
And Christian Brown looking for Justice Blackwell for the second time this drive. Haven't heard from Brett Killian or Chris Curtis yet, but with that type of superstar talent, I'm sure we'll be hearing from them here later on in this game, possibly even on this drive.
Redford already with 5 touches on the drive. Second down and 10. They'll flip it out to him again. Redford past the 18 and then is smacked at the 16-yard line by Kanye Rockefeller, Indianapolis's hero from about a month ago. This will be the first 3rd and long in the ball game for Vancouver.
That was a great job from the Ramblers defense to swarm Robert Redford there, as this whole drive's been pretty much all Robert Redford, and the defense just trying to hold here in this red zone and trying to force a field goal or possibly get the ball back here.
4 receivers for Brown. This time going slants. It's caught by Walters at the 2-yard line. James Walters with a catch in traffic. What a beautiful opening drive for Vancouver so far.
And what a beautiful pass there from Christian Brown to find Walters, throwing it right on the money. And James Walters, the 6th-season veteran, helps his team get the first down with a chance to take an early lead here.
Adam Nold had his back to the football, and Christian Brown recognizes it. 6 for 8 for 36 yards on the opening drive. Handoff to Redford, and Redford walks it in. Touchdown, Vancouver. Welcome to the playoffs, Indianapolis. Legion go right down the field for 6.
And the blocking on the left side was crucial there. Huge shout out to Mike Coverson and Michael Percoco to seal the end for Redford as he walks in untouched to take the early lead here in the first quarter.
Mike Coverson just moved a man like you'd move a box from room to room. I mean, he just picked him up and put him somewhere else and let Redford just walk right in the end zone. The offensive line play for Vancouver off to an extremely strong start. 13 plays, 72-yard drive, 5 runs, 8 passes. Picture perfect 5-minute drive. Just an incredible start for Vancouver in this ballgame.
And with Vancouver playing at home, Cam, in SFL history, they are 5th all-time in win percentage at home. 59-20 at Kings Coast Stadium is good for 75%. So Indianapolis definitely has to make a little defensive adjustments after that first drive and try to tie the ball game up here on their first offensive drive.
My mistake. Myron Jackson Jr. sniped the touchdown from Redford on the score. Came in to spare Redford, and so a backup on the board first here in these playoffs. Colin Pierce comes out for Indianapolis, and man, has he had an incredible season. 4,516 yards, number one in the league, and number one in completions and attempts. They throw the ball, they throw it a lot, but Christian Pierce, their running back, has been getting things going lately. They're going to start it through the air. Outside to Jeff Banfield, caught for a 9-yard gain to the Indy 39. We've seen a lot of Indy over the last month ball, and they are fun to watch.
Yeah, most definitely. And just last week, Cam, we saw Jeff Banfield step up in a huge way to help Indianapolis punch their ticket to the playoffs. Last week, Banfield had 13 receptions, 192 yards, and a touchdown with a long of 65.
Second down and 1 at the Indy 39. 5:40 to go in the first. Pierce outside, and Ryan Roosevelt dropped it. Nerves on both sides of the ball for Indianapolis. I don't think I've seen Ryan Roosevelt drop a pass the entire season.
Yeah, and after the season, he's had 140 receptions, 1,810 yards, and 15 touchdowns. A little nervous here in his first playoffs appearance with Indianapolis, but with his talent, I'd be sure that he's going to get back on track here by the end of this game.
3rd and 1 at the 39. Calling out to Christian. One-handed catch. Christian's ready for the postseason. He's taken down by Earl Fields IV. Let's meet the rest of the Indianapolis Rambler offense. Colin and Christian Pierce in the backfield. The very talented quad of receivers. Ryan Roosevelt, Jeff Banfield, Jay Viper, Rob Hunt. Tight end is Randy Pierce. The guards inside, the strength of this Indianapolis offensive line, Chad Rowland and Max Van Linge. 1st and 10 at the Indy 41. Colin Pierce outside, nearly intercepted. Route jumped by Major Key. Will force a 2nd and 10.
That was great coverage there by Major Key. He's already taken 2 back for touchdowns this season. Almost had an opportunity to do so on that last play. And thankfully for Indianapolis, that pass was dropped and not intercepted.
2nd and 10 at the 41 off the incompletion. Pierce starts 2 for 4. One was a drop. This one down the middle of the field. Randy Pierce wide open to the Vancouver 46-yard line. Colin Pierce getting a lot of people involved early. 1st down, Indy.
And that's exactly what Colin Pierce has done all season. And it's such a pass-heavy offense for Indianapolis. When you're averaging 376 passing yards a game, it's crucial to get everyone involved, and that is exactly what he's doing early to start this game.
Roosevelt, Banfield, Randy Pierce, Christian Pierce, all with targets early. Trips off the left side now, the Vancouver 46. Colin Pierce looking to go deep. He's looking for Banfield. He's got Banfield. It's Viper. It's Jay Viper for the touchdown, Indianapolis. They put Viper out wide, and he burns him and poses for the crowd. Indy strikes back.
Woo-hoo! What a play. What a throw from Pierce to be able to find Jay Viper just after he burned the defense, trying to tie the game up after answering Vancouver's flawless first drive. The Ramblers are on the scoreboard with a chance to tie the game, Cam. Wow, what a play that just was.
Paul, I don't know. We've been watching a lot of SFL football this year. I don't know if you noticed, but I think Indy stole a play from Vancouver's book. We have seen them go deep to Justice Blackwell in a similar set, right? We've seen it on this week in the SFL throughout the season, and they put Viper out there and said, you know what, we can do it too. And they beat Vancouver at their own game. We're tied at 7.
Yeah, and Vancouver may have had their focus on Ryan Roosevelt and Jeff Banfield coming into the night, but Jay Viper, the 3rd receiver on the team, making the highlight there and scoring Indianapolis's first touchdown. Just a great drive there to answer Vancouver.
That should take the nerves off for Indianapolis, who were a little jittery to start. A couple offsides dropped from Roosevelt. Justice Blackwell on the return to the 27-yard line. We could be in for a shootout. Jack's data says a 57.5 over-under, so pretty high, but not as high as we've seen those spreads. Vancouver is 7.5-point favorite. As mentioned, 7-0 all-time in first-round playoff games, including 6 in a row the last 6 seasons in the first round. Indianapolis' first playoff appearance. They were an expansion team last season, went 3-9. They improved on that win total by 4, and here they are. Christian Brown over the middle of the field, tipped up in the air and incomplete, looking for Hector Huxley on a crosser. Many Ramblers in the vicinity, 2nd and 10.
And the Ramblers defense, as I mentioned pregame, they are going to have to step up in a major way. They've allowed 29.3 points per game this season, 24th in the league.
Wow.
So if they can keep the points down, their offense is averaging 29.5 points, which is 8th in the league. So their defense just has to create some opportunities.
2nd and 10 with split backs. Christian Brown looking and sacked. A 4-yard loss brought down by Derek Jenko. 17 sacks in the regular season, but Paul, you said it, 5 last week after only 12 all season long, and here they get more pressure.
And Derek Jenko last week against Tulsa stepped up massively, had 2.5 sacks and 3 tackles for loss, already getting his first one here in this first quarter.
3rd and 14, 4 wide for Brown. Play fake to Redford, looking, checks it down, and a race to the sticks is not going to get there. That'll set up a 4th down for Vancouver, not what they were looking for. John Clements with the catch for the Legion. Everybody closed up downfield, and we have our first stop of the game.
And after a picture-perfect opening drive for Vancouver, this Ramblers defense just swarming to the ball on this drive, forcing them into a 4th down and getting the ball right back for Colin Pierce and company to try to take the lead for Indianapolis.
Kanye Rockefeller at his 38-yard line gets it out to the 43. So far, Indy playing their game. Vancouver would love to slow this down, just like what we saw in their opening drive. A 13-play drive. They are the #1 scoring defense in the SFL for the first time in Hamilton's tenure. And that's the type of game they like to play. 26-14, let's rough you up. Indy loves this stuff. They'll play in shootouts all day, trying to take on this #1 scoring defense, this #1 passing offense. It's a wonderful matchup here to start the wild card weekend. Ryan Roosevelt picks up 6 to the 49, his first catch. Let's meet the rest of the Vancouver defense. Up front, Achilles Papatonis, Cabrian Womack, and Gerald Giudice on the line. Linebackers include Josh Farnsey, Earl Fields IV, and Marquise Reed. Corners, Major Key, Michael Lister, and Zach Lay. Safeties are Mark Lopez, Will Stern, and Drew Hamilton. Stern plays the slot. 2nd and 4, 3 minutes to go in the first quarter at the Indy 49. Ramblers' first possession wins 6 plays and a touchdown. Colin Pierce hit as he threw, passes incomplete. Banfield tried to snag it with one hand, but he's popped by Earl Fields IV. It'll set up 3rd and 4.
And it almost looked like Banfield turned into the defender there as he put the hand up, but he just, thankfully, the defense wasn't able to hold on to it for Indianapolis, and just a great defensive play there. And let's see how this defense is going to answer here on 3rd and 4.
2:53 left, tied at 7. Colin Pierce out of the shotgun, out of under center. Split back, Colin Pierce shuffling his feet. He did not know where he wanted to go with the football. Looking for Jeff Banfield at the top of the screen. That's swatted away by Key. Excellent defensive possession there for Major. And now both defenses have a stop to their name.
Yeah, after opening drives that both went for touchdowns, after Indianapolis was able to get a stop on defense, the Vancouver Legion, #1 defense in season 20, gets a stop and creates another opportunity for Christian Brown to take their team down the field.
They're coming after it, nearly blocked. Oh, that was dangerous. Fair catch called for at the 20. by Blackwell. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. Redford's got the 2 carries so far, but also 4 catches for 14 yards. Indy showing a blitz. They'll back off, rush 4. Brown down the middle, caught. James Walters beats Bryant James and has a first down to the 49-yard line of Vancouver. Wrapped up by Ernest McCray Sr. at the end of the play. Walters, a hot start.
James Walters, after a 34-catch, 433-yard campaign this season, making an impact here in the playoffs for Vancouver, moving the chains for the Legion, and what a time for Walters to have a big game, and he is proving to step up in one of the most important games of the season so far for Vancouver.
Walters 43 yards on 2 receptions. Brown now 8 of 11 for 68 yards to start this contest. 3 receivers, 2 to the left. Christian Brown back to pass against a 3-man rush. That pass is caught by Brett Killian. That is the first catch or target for either of the outside receivers. But either way, Paul, they're trying to expose the middle of that Indy defense.
And after that first drive, and also on this drive, they're doing a great job at exposing the middle of the field here. And Killian last week only 4 receptions for 47 yards, so the veteran leader is definitely going to have to step up.
Brown steps up in the pocket and fires it out to Chris Curtis. His first catch, that's a 5-yard gain to the Indy 29.
And just like Killian last week, Chris Curtis a little quiet as well. 3 receptions, 23 yards. Christian Brown did throw 7 interceptions last week, and that was part of the reason. And with the way that Portland's defense played against Vancouver, they just really had their number. But already a hot start for this Vancouver offense tonight.
Handoff, Robert Redford running right this time. Redford gets a huge block down to the 6-yard line. Kanye Rockefeller saves a touchdown. We got to get a body on that truck.
Ooh, Robert Redford. The whole first drive was all Redford, and what a great block there and a great run from Redford to get it into the red zone. And now we are looking at Vancouver right next to the goal line trying to reclaim the lead here in this first quarter.
Sawyer Stern tough with a capital T on that pancake. Pulling outside for Redford. Redford off to a hot start on the ground. 50 yards on 4 carries. 3 in the backfield. They'll throw to him here. Nobody in the flats. Redford racing to the goal line. Wrapped up with a 4. There's Kanye Rockefeller again. He's a tackling machine.
He is all over the field tonight, just as he was all season, Cam. In season 20, 111 tackles, 10th in the league. That is a lot of tackles from a big-time player.
Rockefeller loves playing this Legion bunch. And it's 2nd and goal at the Indy 3, and Christian Brown going to throw for it. Brown, pocket, collapsing, dumps it off Stern. Stern's going to lose 2. More terrific coverage into the end zone there by Indy's defense. Blake Prine wraps up Stern, and that is going to wrap up our first quarter. End of 1, 7-7, Indy and Vancouver all tied. These are the Season 20 Wild Card playoff games on Next Level Sports. Welcome back to the Season 20 Wild Card round of the SFL playoffs here on Next Level Sports, presented by APM Music. I'm Cameron Irvine alongside Paul Sarp, Ron Haynes, Ben Warner in our stat truck. 3rd and goal from the 5. Christian Brown back in the end zone. Pass tipped up in the air and incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Rockefeller there at the end. Justice Blackwell was the intended target. Vancouver have to settle for 3.
That was a dangerous throw from Christian Brown there, trying to find Blackwell in a sea of Ramblers defenders. But I'm sure Vancouver will take these 3 points as they regain the lead. And a great job from the Ramblers defense, bending and not breaking there on this drive.
.22-yard chip shot coming from Chance to Win. To win 3 for 3 last week. Kick is up and good. 32 of 33 this season. That is first in the SFL. Vancouver scores a lot of points. They kick a lot of field goals too. It's an average of nearly 3 a game.
Yeah, when you have a kicker like Chance to Win on your team, and for how great he's been for the Legion this season, it's just showing why the Legion are in the position that they are in here with a home playoff game in the wild card in Season 20.
From the 1, Kanye Rockefeller on the return. Rockefeller up to the 27-yard line. Van's done a better job on him so far today. And the Indy offense will come back out. Let's see if they kick a field goal here, Paul, because both teams have mimicked each other.
Absolutely.
When Van gets a touchdown, so does Indy. When they punt, so does Indy. Let's see what happens. Nickel look for Vancouver's defense. Indy in the silver helmets, silver pants, white jerseys with the red numbers. Christian Pierce with his first carry of the game picks up 6. A little slow to get up. Vancouver, white helmets, white pants, and the blue top. 2nd and 4.
And when you're in such a pass-heavy offense, when you're able to run the ball right up the middle with Christian Pierce to catch the defense off guard, as we just saw for a 6-yard gain there from Christian Pierce, that is exactly what the Ramblers try to do, to catch defenses off guard.
I'll hand it to him again this time. Can't catch the Vancouver Legion off guard. Gerald Giudice with the stop. So it'll set up a 3rd down and 4 at the 33-yard line.
And we've seen this season, Indianapolis is incredible on 3rd downs. 3rd in the league with a 59% 3rd down conversion percentage. Let's see how they respond on 3rd and 4 here.
3rd down, 4 at the Indy 33. Handoff to Christian Pierce as a 1st down to the 38-yard line. So the Ramblers trying to establish the run with Ryan Roosevelt sitting on 1 catch for 6 yards. Another 1st down for Indy.
And that was a great run there from Christian Pierce. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to move the chains there, but a great job by him to lower his shoulder, running right into the defender to move the chains for his team.
1st and 10, offside Vancouver. Pass is caught by Bamfield. I think they'll take the penalty here. The SFL convention is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, July 28th through 30th for Season 21 kickoff weekend. For room reservation details and the weekend schedule, see the Convention Alerts channel in the SFL Discord server. Rooms are going fast. Some have already sold out. Reserve your special group rate today. We will see you there.
It's going to be a great time at the convention this year, Cam. Lots of exciting things happening around the league, and I know I'll be there. Can't wait to be there with everyone else.
1st and 5 at the Rambler 43. 2 receivers, 1 to either side. They're going to flip it out to Roosevelt, but the pass got away from Colin Pierce. Led Ryan out of bounds. That'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Colin Pierce just a little too much on that pass there. And Roosevelt, we're going to see a challenge there.
I don't know about that one. Didn't even look close. Here. Let's see. Did he drag anything? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't know what Coach Wiseman saw on that. Yeah, they're going to lose a timeout on that one. Maybe it's just to try to show confidence in Roosevelt. He looks a little bothered early on, had the drop. Just one catch for 6 yards. You know, maybe that's a coach just trying to support his guy. But, yeah, that challenge, very unsuccessful.
And let's see if that timeout that they lost comes back to haunt them here in the next 8.5 minutes in this first half.
2nd and 5 of the Indy 43. Colin Pierce to Ryan Roosevelt. They go right back to him. Talk about showing your guys some confidence. First down to midfield, and the Ramblers keep the drive alive.
We've seen all season long Ryan Roosevelt on those mid-level out routes on the sidelines. He's been extremely impressive all season long, and on this drive wasn't able to get that last one or 2 plays ago, but able to convert the first down for this Ramblers offense on that last play.
Colin Pierce is sacked. Loss of 3 in the backfield. Gerald Giudice swing and a hit. Loss of 3.
Giudice just basically almost went untouched into the backfield there and puts an absolute massive hit on Colin Pierce. And only 3.5 sacks on the season, but what a time to force some negative yards for your defense and force Indianapolis into a 2nd and long here in the first half.
A total missed assignment there from Chad Rowland. Loss of 3, 2nd and 13 at the 47. Colin Pierce out to Christian. They're all over it. Christian throws Michael Lister to the floor. I feel like I'm at a System of the Down concert. Christian, no gain, 3rd and 13.
And let's see how Indianapolis is going to respond on 3rd and long with a chance to either tie the game up or take the lead or stay behind 3 points against a tough Vancouver team.
Colin Pierce going for the home run ball. It's caught by Banfield down to the 16-yard line. Threading the needle to Jeff. And another first down for Indy will put him in the red zone.
Wow, Cam, what a throw from Colin Pierce. When you have a receiver 1 like Roosevelt, and then you have a receiver 2 like Banfield, who's had his 2nd big play tonight for the Ramblers, that is just a gorgeous throw from Pierce, and they convert a 3rd and long as they find their way in the Vancouver red zone with a chance to tie the game up and a chance to take the lead.
Just over the outstretched arm of Drew Hamilton, who ended up making the tackle. 5 wide receivers. Colin Pierce looking into the end zone. Corner knocked away. He almost squeezed that to Banfield. Major Key, another deflection.
If Colin Pierce was able to fit that ball in there in the corner to Banfield, wow. But that is great defense there for Major Key. We've seen Major Key intercept 4 times this season and return 2 of them, so definitely someone you got to keep an eye out for in this game.
That one would have taken me out of my seat for sure. 2nd and 10 at the 16. Colin Pierce going in zone, caught at the 1-yard line. Jay Viper nearly snagged his 2nd touchdown of the day. 1st and goal.
And what a route from Jay Viper, just finding the hole in the defense and took an absolute shot there as he was unable to get into the end zone. But we have 1st and goal for Indianapolis here on Vancouver's 1-yard line.
Another tackle for Drew Hamilton, 2 on this drive now. 3 receivers, 2 to the left, split backs. Colin Pierce going to throw. Colin Pierce looking, caught, touchdown, Jay Viper. He's crushing his playoff debut.
And Jay Viper, what a start for him. Only 2 touchdowns on the season, already finds himself with 2 in this first half as the Ramblers take the lead over Vancouver here in wild card playoffs for season 20 in the SFL. Wow, what a first half we're seeing, Cam.
12 plays, 74-yard drive, 7 passes, 5 runs. Christian Pierce got it moving a little bit. The drive goes 4 minutes and 25 seconds, and Indianapolis has their first playoff lead in franchise history. And I don't know if you noticed, Paul, but that pass a little bit behind Viper, but There was Drew Hamilton again trying to get his paws on the football, and that's trusting your receiver to make a play with an imperfect ball, and Jay delivers.
Most definitely, and this Vancouver defense has been incredible all season long. Seems a little skittish here at home in this first half, so I'm sure once they make some adjustments, I'm sure that they're going to lock in and play the defense that they've been playing all season long.
Blackwell on the return. Cuts it back to the right, gets it up to the Vancouver 29-yard line. The who you got this week on this game was the closest of any of the three spreads, 90-71 Vancouver. Did have the advantage. All the home teams are favorited this week. This one the tightest. Indy trying to pull an early playoff upset. First and 10 at the Vancouver 29-yard line, out to Redford. Redford makes a man miss, breaks off a tackle. Redford gets 9 to the Vancouver 38, ushered out of bounds by James.
And that was a great run after the catch from Redford, making a defender miss. And then Bryant James comes flying out of nowhere, hitting Redford out of bounds. But 9 yards for Redford is going to give Vancouver a second and easily manageable here.
Second and 1. With the way these two teams have been driving, could be the final drive of the first half. Redford loses a yard. Wrapped up in the backfield by Adam Wiseman. There's a look at Redford's updated rushing numbers.
That was a great play from Wiseman there to be able to just storm Robert Redford there. Wiseman had 98 tackles on the season. Pretty impressive season from Wiseman.
Third down. Christian Brown out to Redford. Makes a defender miss. That was McCray Sr., who just couldn't come down with the wrap-up. Vancouver's drive will continue.
And that is a great play from Redford, who's been extremely impressive so far in this game and extending the drive for his team. And just like you mentioned, Cam, these teams are creating long, efficient drives and taking a lot of time off of the clock.
12 touches, 80 yards, and a touchdown for Redford. This is number 13 on the day. Waits and gets a block. First down. That block, I'm trying to squeeze the number there. Couldn't quite pick it up. I think it may have been Brett Killian on the outside.
Yeah, let's see here again, because that block was phenomenal. Is James Walters.
Oh, yeah.
Sealing the edge there. Wow, what a great block from Walters there to help allow Redford to just break it to the outside and get yet another first down on this drive.
And you notice that Redford kind of waited for Walters to get out there, didn't rush the play, stayed patient. James Walters has had one heck of a first half. First and 10 at the Indy 46-yard line. The Legion are on the move once more. Deep shot going to Killian. Caught! Touchdown! Wide open! Vancouver retakes the lead.
Wow, what a throw from Christian Brown as the Legion take the lead back. And it's a back and forth battle tonight, Cam. And what a throw from Brown as Killian just blows right by the defense and walks his way into the touchdown. Wow, we are definitely in store for a back and forth battle all game tonight, Cam.
There's your numbers. No turnovers in this half. Each team has a sack, 7 yards a play, 217 to 150 in total yards. Vancouver answers. They only had 23 points in their first meeting with Indy, 17 in the first half. Back and forth we go.
You have to note here, Cam, Vancouver scoring 17 already in this first half is 8 more points than they scored last week against Portland Fleet. So the Vancouver offense has definitely made some adjustments since last week and is firing on all cylinders here in the wild card matchup.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, they've just flatlined against the Portland Fleet. It's amazing what a week of prep will do for you as Rockefeller gets it up to the 25-yard line. And you know, it was kind of a question we had coming into this game. If Rockefeller does not give his heroics in the first meeting, Vancouver wins it 23-20. They're up 3 right now.
And Kanye Rockefeller is such a dangerous player on special teams. He scored 5 touchdowns this season on special teams alone. And is someone you always have to keep an eye out for, as he could take any return back for a touchdown at any point.
Pierce hit as he threw. Colin Pierce brought down by Womack, the team's sack leader. Roosevelt was again the target on the play, 2nd and 10.
And it looked like Colin Pierce was loading up a rocket there as he was trying to get the ball to Roosevelt there on a deep throw, trying to catch this Legion defense off guard, but a great job there from Womack to get that pressure on Colin Pierce on that play.
2nd and 10, 2 receivers, Banfield and Roosevelt at the top of your screen. They'll go opposite direction to Christian Pierce. Woo! And he is blown up by Major Key. Major has had an impressive first half, 3rd and 8.
An extremely impressive first half for Major Key. 2 tackles on the night. He's also had 3 passes deflected, the 3 lone pass deflections for this Legion defense.
3rd down and 8 for Indy. Going down the middle, incomplete into coverage. And for the first time in this game, Vancouver gets a stop with the lead. Punt coming for Indy.
And that is just a great stop from the Legion to be able to force a punt here and get the ball back. The Legion defense only allowing 20.8 points per game this season, which is 1st in the league. And the way that their defense has been playing, it was exactly what they were looking for to get a stop against Indianapolis and get the ball back here in this first half.
4th and 8 at the 28 from the 38-yard line. Blackwell will return it up to the 46 for Vancouver's offense. Excellent field position. The SFL Playoffs Wild Card Weekend continues next on the SFL YouTube channel from St. Paul, Minnesota, where the Central Division champion Legend welcome Alamo City to Northwood Stadium for its first ever postseason game. Kickoff is at 9 p.m. Central with Ramos Lynn and Mark Lopez on the call. First down to the 46, and Brown's going to start out of the shotgun. Brown going over the middle, nearly intercepted. Adam Wiseman, who in the Tulsa game that we called last week had a number of opportunities to make a pick. Can't come away with that one there, but incomplete none the same.
Yeah, and last week's nail-biter, 26-24 win that punched their ticket to the playoffs. Wiseman, 5 tackles with 3 passes deflected, and he had another opportunity there, but just great defense there from Wiseman as one of the leaders of this Ramblers defense.
3:41 to go, 2nd and 10 at the 46. Christian Brown tried to go over the middle, but it actually hit a lineman in the back of the head. I think that was Michael Percoco. Killian says, "Are you kidding me?" Another penalty in this first half.
And Michael Percoco just throwing, I believe it was Derek Jenko around on that play, but just got in the way of Killian on that pass, and Vancouver is going to find themselves going backwards with a 2nd and 15 opportunity here.
That'll back them up to the 41-yard line. Vancouver's never met a 2nd and 15 they didn't like. This team can easily get out of those types of jams. So can Indy, to be fair. 2nd and 15 for Brown out of the shotgun. Christian Brown surveying, has time. Nearly picked again. Oh, man, the Ramblers. If you want to win playoff games, you got to come up with plays like this. Incomplete, 3rd and 15.
Yeah, and what a opportunity that the Ramblers defense just essentially threw away there. A couple defenders getting their hands on the ball, unable to come up with the turnover there. But I'm sure Christian Brown is extremely happy that that ball hit the ground rather than the Ramblers intercepting it.
3rd and 15 at the 41-yard line. Straight back. Christian Brown threw it too far out in front of Chris Curtis. That's an incomplete pass and a punt. Brown looking a little shifty in a negative way in the pocket there.
Yeah, Chris Curtis diving out for that catch there, unable to come up with the ball as he hit the ground. And that's just a great answer from this Ramblers defense after the Legion forced them into a 4th down, which gave them the ball back. They're going to have another opportunity.
Ooh, they almost blocked that punt. Fair catch called for by Rockefeller at the 26 as the Ramblers went after it. You know, I don't know if you've probably seen here in the first half, Paul, that 3-4 times Christian Brown has tried to go deep. Indy's got it all covered up, and then when Brown tries to make a decision late, it has not worked out well for him. The coverage has been pretty solid on the back end outside of the Killian touchdown.
Absolutely, and it's just, this is a chess match, and we're seeing a back-and-forth battle up to this point, and I expect nothing less for the rest of this game.
Colin Pierce to throw, out of bounds to Roosevelt. Had to float that one on up top, as I believe Achilles Papatonis got the vertical going.
And that's the second time we've seen in this half that Colin Pierce thrown it to the outside to Roosevelt. Just a little too much loft on the pass, but a great defensive play there from Papatonis to force that type of throw.
Dime 3-2 look, and the soft box smothers Christian Pierce. Gerald Giudice with another TFL. 1 yard loss. Defense is really getting after it late in the second quarter, 3rd and long.
And looking at this Vancouver defense, nobody really stands out as far as stat leaders on the team. It just goes to show the team effort that this defense puts in all around.
5 wide empty. Colin Pierce to throw. Pierce going deep to Banfield. It's knocked away by Major Key again.
Wow.
4th pass deflection of the half for Major. Another punt upcoming for the Ramblers.
Major Key with another one. 9 on the season. You already have 4 in this first half. Wow, what a great performance from Major Key as he is stepping up incredibly tonight against this Ramblers offense.
That's insane that he only had 9. The Vancouver leader just with 10. Not a team that has gotten their mitts on a lot of footballs here this season as Blackwell gets it up to the 47. 19th in interceptions, 16th in passes defended. It's not the Legion MO for this number 1 scoring defense. They do it in their front 7. But more great field position for Vancouver. You would have to think they're going to, I mean, they started inside or outside their own 40 last drive, couldn't come up with anything. They're bound to get something here. Three in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Redford. Redford cuts back left, gets 3 on the play. Jenko and Britton the third on the tackle.
Going back to your point about the Vancouver defense, they're in the bottom half as far as tackles, sacks, tackles for loss, interceptions, passes deflected, but they're still the number 1 defense in the league, only allowing 325 yards a game. It's just incredible to me.
Brown's pass incomplete. He's looking for a PI. Vancouver's been potentially interfered with on a few plays here today. McDevitt was in coverage. And yeah, the stats really do not tell the story for this Legion defense. I mean, the first thought I thought of, Paul, was, oh, well, this offense is just keeping their defense off the field, right? They're grinding people out. But Brown is 19th in attempts passing. Redford 7th in carries. But I mean, nothing jumps off the page. This team is just solid from top to bottom. 3rd down and 7. Play action for Brown. Brown has an open man. That's Killian. 1st down to the Indy 38-yard line. That will take us to the 2-minute warning after the replay.
That was a beautiful play action pass there and throw from Christian Brown, and a great route from Killian with the deep in route over the middle of the field, coming up with the catch and securing the 1st down for his team.
Legion knocking on the door of scoring position, trying to extend their 17-14 advantage. You're watching the Season 20 Wild Card Saturday Showcase on Next Level Sports. Be right back. Back here at Kings Coast Stadium in Vancouver, Canada, where the Legion have a 17-14 lead over the Indianapolis Ramblers. I'm not sure what that was out of the 2-minute break. Justice Blackwell and Christian Brown on a miscommunication, second down.
Yeah, Christian Brown just unable to find Blackwell there, and that's Blackwell's 4th target on the night. Only has been able to get 1 reception so far on those 4 targets for 8 yards, and just Christian Brown unable to put the ball into Blackwell's hands there on that one.
Watch Curtis, top of the screen. He's got a lot of space up there. Indy showing a blitz. They are waiting for Robert Redford in the trenches. Redford going to pick up 4. That is a very pivotal 4 yards. That could get him into chance to win field goal range from 50.
Yeah, and 3rd and 6 here, and just like the Ramblers offense, 59% third down completion. The Legion support a 58% third down completion, which is 6th in the league, so another impressive team on third downs.
3rd and 6 of the 33. Christian Brown's pass is incomplete. Blackwell again the target. Justice Blackwell has been targeted 5 times, just 1 catch for 8 yards. We'll see what they do here.
Yeah, and let's see if they're going to send out the field goal unit or the punting team here. And it looks like we're going to see a chance to win for a long field goal here.
A 50-yarder, 32 made field goals so far this season. This from 50. Low snap. Kick is on its way. Crushed it. It's good. Wow. Vancouver leads by 6.
What a great kick from Chance to win there. Last week, 3 for 3 with a long of 44. And here in the playoffs, 2 for 2 with a long of 50 as Vancouver takes a 6-point lead over the Ramblers here in this first half.
Didn't hit the net, but it had just enough. Kick is away. Kanye Rockefeller on the return. He has been smothered all day. Put down to the 24-yard line. Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Paul and I will preview the rest of the wild card matchups, discuss the 2023 Hall of Fame finalists, and reflect on 2 major partnerships for the SFL just announced last night. Don't go anywhere. It's all coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report. Indianapolis going to try to get some points on the board before the half. What a grab from Randy Pierce. They're moving the chains, no huddle.
And an offense that's as good as this Ramblers offense, this is exactly what they do week in and week out.
Out to Banfield. Now that's a tricky call. Ruled out of bounds. Banfield and Roosevelt struggling to get their timing down on their out patterns today. I'm going to get a booth review on this. Nope.
Let's see. Doesn't look like it. As you mentioned,
surprising.
That is a tough one there. It was real close there. As we see for the 3rd time tonight on those out routes, Pierce just throwing a little too much sauce on that one.
2nd and 10. They're going to hand it off to Christian Pierce, and then they're going to call a timeout. 1 timeout left. Indy in dangerous territory of giving Vancouver the ball back with 3 timeouts and some time to get some more points.
Yeah, and after they lost that challenge early in the first quarter, only find themselves with 1 timeout here now. Let's see how they're going to respond on 3rd and 9 here, if they're going to extend their drive or give Vancouver an opportunity to put points up before halftime.
4 receivers, 2 to either side. Dime 3-2 look for Vancouver's defense. 3-step drop. Christian Pierce pass caught 1 yard short. That's Rob Hunt on the catch. Oh, man, would you risk it for the biscuit here in the playoffs or punt it away?
And see, with the time kicking, I think I may have taken an opportunity there to get that first down, as we see Vancouver not calling one of their 3 timeouts to stop the clock.
Both teams unwilling to take a risk late here in the half. Indy gets what they wanted, but hey, I mean, if you were going to run the clock all the way down, might as well just go. Might as well just go for it, right? It's all the way down to 18 seconds as Wiseman boots it away. That's probably, at the end of the day, a win for Indy, but it does give Vancouver the ball back. 11 seconds left. We've already seen a 46-yard touchdown to Brett Killian.
Yeah, and that's definitely something you got to watch out for, as we saw Killian beat the secondary once already tonight. You have one or two plays here, depending on how long this first play takes, and I'm sure the Ramblers defense is playing some extremely soft coverage here.
4 receivers, 3 to the left. Brown calling an audible. Brown's going middle to slants. He is lucky that was not picked off. Pass over to Walters. We'll see if they're in Hail Mary range for Brown or not. Last play before the half. But either way, boy, if that's a pick for Indy, they're getting 3 points.
Most definitely, and I'm sure Indy wishes they could have picked that one off. I'm also sure that Christian Brown is glad he was able to complete the pass instead of seeing an interception on that play. And we got 3 seconds left, and let's see what Vancouver does here right before halftime.
Doesn't look like they're going Hail Mary. They could try to squeeze in one more play. Yeah, there you go. They got a couple more yards. 1 second left. I think they may have wanted a few more. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, and Robert Redford, he's broken runs off for big gains this season and trying to just run up the middle there. Let's see here if they are just going to take this final second off with a run before halftime, or let's see if they do take a deep shot and try to score before halftime.
Look at the line on the left. That's the strength of their line. Redford's over there as well. 1 second to go. They'll throw it out to Redford, see if they can do something in the open field. Redford breaks 1 tackle and then put down after a gain of just 1. That's his 9th catch for 44 yards here in this first half, which has now come to a close. That's halftime. 20-14. Vancouver leading Indianapolis. We're back to SFL Studios for your APM Music halftime report after these messages. Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report alongside Paul Sarp and Cameron Irvine. Halftime here from Kings Coast Stadium and back at the SFL studios. 20-14, Indy is trailing Vancouver by 6. It's a great first half of football, Paul. No turnovers, well played. Just your initial impressions on Indianapolis's first 22 minutes in the playoffs, and how were your first 22 minutes in the playoffs, too, from the booth?
Oh, hey, as far as my first 22 minutes, it's been exciting. And as far as Indy's first half, they're down 6 points, but they're playing good football, just like Vancouver as well. As you mentioned, 0 turnovers. Last week, both of these quarterbacks threw 13 combined interceptions. So for one half to only have 0 interceptions is definitely what they were both trying to do. And both of these teams just in a chess match right now, and it's just been a back and forth battle all throughout the first half.
Indianapolis gets the ball to start the second half, and so with a touchdown, they could take the lead. Colin Pierce a little bit inefficient in that first half. Ryan Roosevelt, Jeff Banfield struggling just a bit, on the outside. But other than that, Indianapolis holding their own in a big spot as they begin the the defense of their excellent sophomore season here in the SFL and that 7-5 record. We got 3 other wild card games to go. We're just getting the playoffs started. Let's, Paul, shift to tonight's game between Alamo City and Minnesota. That's a 12-5 game. Alamo City was the 12 seed last season, went to Arizona and struggled in that contest. Minnesota was the 10 seed last season. They went to D.C. and lost to the D.C. Dragons in that one. This will be their first home playoff game ever. Minnesota coming in just like Indianapolis did last season, and now back-to-back playoff trips. Your Central Division champions. What are you looking at in this Alamo City Minnesota matchup?
Oh, it's gonna be an absolute battle between these teams. Just 2 seasons ago, Alamo City, formerly known as Lone Star, made a championship run and just came up short against Baltimore. But Minnesota, after winning the division this season, in their 2 seasons in the SFL, they find themselves an 11-1 record at home. That is going to be crucial for them as they are extremely confident when they play at home. And Alamo City's hungry for a win as well. So it's going to be a great game between these 2 teams tonight, and can't wait to catch it here and see who comes out on top.
Speaking of tough at home, the London Knights have been ridiculous. 13-1 in the last 2 seasons at home. Their lone loss was last season in the playoffs, the semifinal game with Arizona, and they fell in that one. Otherwise, they've been terrific at home. What a tough draw for Las Vegas. They've lost 4 in a row. They make the playoffs. Some didn't even think they would make the playoffs, right, with that disastrous end. It's a rematch of Week 3. How does Vegas get the job done?
It's going to be all in the hands of their offense, as London's the #1 scoring offense this season. Las Vegas 6th in season 20, but Las Vegas is such a high-risk, high-reward offense, and if they can make a few conversions and take a couple deep shots and come up with them, and their defense can stop and somewhat hold London's offense, that's going to be how Las Vegas can get it done against a red-hot London team.
That one is going to be a high-scoring one, 48-31, Week 3. We're going to see a lot of high flying, I think, in that ball game. I'd be shocked, Paul. We'll probably get 20-17 because that's how it goes. But I would be shocked if that game was under 60 points. There should be a lot of offense there. And then in the nightcap tomorrow night, what an amazing opportunity we have in the SFL. The Carolina Skyhawks, a team that has been around since season 1. They started as the Kahlua Wyverns. They then went to Honolulu, became the Legends. Then they went to Carolina. They've gone through ownership changes, additions, subtractions, all sorts of things. They are 0-4 all time in the playoffs. They have never won a playoff game, but they have never hosted a playoff game. And we get to see what this team and what those fans look like at home. They will host Tulsa. That, to me, is the game of the week this weekend, Paul. How do you see that matchup playing out?
Just like you, Cam, I also believe that's going to be the game of the week. Tulsa and Carolina, two teams hungry to make an impact and win a playoff game. But we've seen Tulsa ending the season on a 3-game losing streak as Carolina's on a 3-game winning streak. And earlier in the season, Carolina was able to upset Baltimore. So if Carolina can beat Baltimore, in their heads, they're thinking they can compete with anyone in the league. But Tulsa's an extremely tough team. If they can get the running game going through Douglas Brown, they most definitely are going to have a battle in the trenches, as Carolina's running back, Ike McBride, is an extremely incredible player as well, and she's trying to help her team get their first playoff win in their franchise history. It's going to be a great game tomorrow night.
And Tulsa's only won one themselves, so you talk about two teams that really want to add to that resume, and they certainly have an opportunity to do that. Minnesota has 0. Obviously, Indianapolis has 0. We talked about it last week, Paul, how a lot of teams that have won championships that are playoff regulars, they are not here this season, and things are a little topsy-turvy, but a lot of talent on this playoff bracket. So that's a look at your remaining wild card games. The quarterfinals are next Saturday and Sunday. Next Saturday, Paul Sarp is already here. Tyler Falk will be at SFL headquarters and be broadcasting the Saturday 9 p.m. quarterfinal game with me. At halftime of that game, we will unveil the 2023 Hall of Fame class, and we've got our finalists going right now. The ballots have been distributed to our member teams. Your players that have an opportunity to make it, 5 will make it. Quarterback Julian Tyree of Sioux Falls, Colin Hart, running back of Minnesota, strong safety Max Jackson of Las Vegas, Robert Redford here in this game with Vancouver, Tom Pepper, the Legion's former quarterback, Giovanni Bolt, free safety for Baltimore, Mike Daggs, tight end in Mexico City, Brett Killian of these Vancouver Legion, Chris Curtis of the Vancouver Legion, Evan Carroll of Florida, T-Roy Gaines of Baltimore, Jack Brown of Charleston, Hunter Norwood of Arizona, Shark Tarkington of Baltimore, and Gabriel Manning of Tulsa. It is a stacked list. I don't know how you make those choices, Paul, but what would you look for in a Hall of Famer out of this class? How would you separate them?
As far as these players, I don't know how owners are going to be able to pick just 5, as every player on this list has their own reasons on why they should be in the Hall of Fame individually. As far as what makes a Hall of Famer, it's play on the field. The stats got to line up, and you got to be at the top, and just the all-around character that these individuals have just helps their chances to get into the Hall of Fame. And it's going to be a close race between these players and contributors, as there's not one bad selection on this list, Cam.
Yeah, no matter who gets in, it's all right choices. It's very stingy. It's the stingiest part of what we do in the sports world, is put people in the Hall of Fame, and it should be difficult. 6 contributors on the ballot: 2-time champion Jeremy Vega for Denver, 1-time champion Mark Chisholm of Atlanta, and of course they're the number 1 seed this season. Mike Torillo, one of our broadcasters on our crew. Andy Hamilton has been an owner of Vancouver, broadcaster, runs social media in the past for the league. Jason McGee, owner of the Sioux Falls Sparrows, top 5 in the league all time in wins. And Ashley Jackson, community ambassador, SFL Knights, AJ Stryker, PGI, all that stuff is also on the ballot for the first time. So yeah, it's going to be a great time. We'll see who is going into the Hall of Fame at the 2023 convention in Cincinnati coming up in July. A couple of partnerships last night, Paul, that we announced. We announced that the SFL is paired with the Retroid and the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. It's a handheld game that will be able to host our new game, SFL 4K23, that we'll be releasing in July, with all the SFL teams and players and branding and stadiums and all sorts of incredible things that our team is working on behind the scenes. But to physically be able to hold the game in your hands, put it in your pocket. Paul, what'd you think of the announcement, and how does it change the way you may view next season?
Oh, for me, I for one could not be any more excited. Just you asking me about it and explaining it gave me goosebumps. Cam, we can play the Retroid 3 Plus in bed if we want. We can take it anywhere we want and just run sims and practice and figure out how to go from week to week. All these teams are gonna absolutely love it. I know for one that I couldn't be any more excited for mine to come in, and it's just going to be a great thing all around for teams, coaches, players, fans of the league. It's going to be a great thing.
Pre-orders are available now. Go retroid.com and you can just search SFL and it'll give you all the details on the product. And soon our mod will be out. 5,000 custom textures plus, and it's just going to be a wonderful time. We've already seen the Seattle Nemesis in their Nemisphere digs, and it just looks incredible. So we're looking forward to that. Also, too, we've partnered with Football Shift to relaunch our league website. Right now, we're in the process of getting that domain name switched over. But otherwise, right now, we're tracking the score live on our score ticker on our brand new site. You know, we're super excited to have a new media home for the SFL. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it's going to be a great thing to have all this centralized info and just the easiness of going throughout the website, to see the players on each team, to read bios about them. Players can put their own image up on the website. It's just increasing the individuality for each player within this league. And just like the Retroid, this new website is yet another huge, great thing for the SFL moving forward.
That's what the SFL is all about, Paul. Hashtag football for everyone, and that is our focus. Season 21 and beyond. You, the individual player sitting on your couch right now watching this game and turning those fans into players, turning those players into people and their stories and all around. So that is our focus moving forward in the SFL. It's always been, but we're doubling down on you, the viewer, you, the player, you, the individual, wherever you may be all over this world. 20-14, Vancouver leads Indianapolis at the half. We got a bunch of players on pins and needles. We'll get you back to Kings Coast Stadium for the second half after this. This has been the APM Music Halftime Report. Welcome back to the second half between the Indianapolis Ramblers and the Vancouver Legion. It's the Season 20 wildcard round on Next Level Sports. your Saturday showcase game. I'm Cameron Irvine alongside Paul Sarp, Ron Haynes, and Ben Warner in our stats truck. Tonight, keeping us updated with all the numbers. Kanye Rockefeller will begin the second half with a spin move, a broken tackle. There he goes again. Kanye breaks a tackle for the kicker. One man, Mark Lopez, can't catch him. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. He's done it again.
Wow! Kanye Rockefeller is stronger. He heard him say that you can't stop him, and he said you can't tell me nothing. What a play from Kanye Rockefeller to start this half after 4 broken tackles on that kick return, taking it to the house. What a huge play for Rockefeller there to start this second half as the Ramblers retake the lead on the first play of the second half. Wow.
Chance to win. Now, how often do you see, Paul, when a team has a few opportunities to slow someone down, they don't have enough. They get caught from behind by somebody. Chance to win tried to slow him down. Mark Lopez, their starting safety, couldn't bring him down. Rockefeller, a man possessed in the first meeting this season, a blocked field goal return for a touchdown and a kickoff return for a touchdown. That came at the end of the second quarter. It doesn't happen in the first half. Somebody got his ear in the locker room, and Indy retakes the lead.
Wow. After 4 kicks returned for a touchdown on the year, Kanye Rockefeller with his 5th in season 20, and what a perfect time to get his 5th as the Ramblers retake the lead in this second half.
Face mask on Blackwell, so that's going to give Vancouver some great starting field position. Rockefeller, before this season, he had he had 5 total. 5 total in his whole career.
Wow.
And he's had 5 this season. Rockefeller has been in the league for 15 seasons, and if Indy ends up winning this game, maybe we should be talking about Rockefeller as a special teams of the year candidate. He's been outstanding.
And as far as special teams candidate, I mean, given the season he's had defensively and special
MVP?
teams wise, he could be in the conversation, Cam.
Brown outside to Chris Curtis. They want to shut down that MVP conversation. Curtis, his second catch of the day, gets a first down for Vancouver, and now it's the Legion's turn to take a deep breath.
Yeah, and after the Ramblers just regain the momentum there, the Vancouver Legion are looking to just play their type of offense and try to drive the ball down the field and regain the lead.
Handoff, Robert Redford, just 8 carries in the first half, but for 58 yards. That picks up 4 to the Indy 39.
And Robert Redford had a pretty impressive first half so far. Came into the second half with 62, or I believe over 50 rushing yards on 8 attempts. So getting his first one of the second half, definitely look for Redford to be a little more involved here in the second half.
2nd and 6 at the Indy 39. Redford off the left side's got a first down to the Rambler 32. Approaching 70 yards of rushing in the first half. He's about at 115 all-purpose.
Yeah, and when you have a running back like Redford who can catch the dump out passes on the outside, he has 9 receptions with 45 yards. Now getting his 10th carry for 69 yards, averaging 6.9 yards per carry, and a touchdown to add to it. He's just an incredible player, and he is showing why he has a chance to get into the Hall of Fame this offseason.
1st and 10 of the Indy 32. Indy jumps offside. Sawyer Stern with the reception, but they'll take the penalty. This is one of those games, Paul, that I even at this point in the game, I have absolutely no idea who has momentum, who's going to win, who's going to be the biggest difference maker in the fourth quarter. I mean, all the players out there have played so well. It's been such a well-played game outside of about 8 penalties, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's both teams. They definitely came to play tonight, and it might come down to the last team who has the ball who's going to come out on top and get this win.
1st and 5, Christian Brown outside to Redford, and he is ushered out of bounds by the ankles, by the shoelaces to the Indy 23. 2nd and 1 coming up.
And after that Kanye Rockefeller return touchdown, Vancouver is answering with a prolific drive here as they're creeping towards the end zone and creeping into Indianapolis's red zone territory.
2nd and 1 of the Indy 23. Handoff, Robert Redford. He's got a first down to the Indy 17-yard line. Today's home game for the Vancouver Legion is brought to you by King's Coast Coffee, premium small batch roast to order coffee delivered right to your door, delivering exceptional coffee to Legion fans in the U.S. and Canada. Use code LEGION and get 10% off today at kingscoastcoffee.com. 8 minutes to go in the third. Brown outside, Robert Redford. That's a 3-yard reception, the 15, his 11th reception in this game. Everyone else on the entire Legion squad has 11 catches, and everyone on Indy combined has 13.
Yeah, Christian Brown is most definitely putting a lot of faith into Robert Redford, as we see now over 127 all-purpose yards, not even through 3 quarters of play.
7:26 to go in the third. Brown throwing over the middle of the field, caught by Blackwell. 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Another move of the chains for Vancouver on this opening drive of the third quarter.
And after that first half where Christian Brown tried to find Justice Blackwell 5 separate times, was only able to find him once for 1 completion for 8 yards. Now Justice Blackwell finds himself with 2 receptions for 18 yards in this game.
16 first downs already for Vancouver to Indy's 8. They've been the big play team, while Vancouver has been able to grind out a few drives today. No gain there for Redford. Prime time puts them down. 2nd and goal.
And this Indy defense we saw earlier in the first half, in this same exact situation, they were able to get a stop and hold Vancouver to a field goal. But Vancouver has a couple opportunities here to get into the end zone and reclaim this lead.
2nd and goal with the 5. 6:28 to go in the third. Christian Brown's pass is incomplete. Dangerous football into the flats. Chad McDevitt knocks it away. Indy 7th in the SFL in pass deflections with 73 this season, but only 24 picks, 19th.
That play there, it looked like it could have went either way there, as that was a great route ran. And if Christian Brown threw a little bit more outside, we might have been looking at a Vancouver touchdown there rather than a 3rd and goal.
From the 5, Christian Brown, corner, caught! Touchdown, Brett Killian! Surgical! That was a brilliant throw.
And after Christian Brown couldn't find his target on that last play, he throws an absolute dime to Brett Killian, who now has 4 receptions on 5 targets, 80 yards, and his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Was the ball across the plane? To be fair to Brett, I don't think that was the best angle on that replay, but boy, was that close. Walters with 57 yards on 3 grabs, but it's now Brett Killian, 80 yards on 4 catches, 2 touchdowns. Vancouver and Indy back and forth from Kings Coast Stadium. The extra point is good. Vancouver 27 and Indianapolis 21. An 11-play, 55-yard drive takes us to break. Vancouver and Indy, back and forth we go. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the SFL on NLSE. Kanye Rockefeller's return is next. 6:21 to go in the third. Vancouver leads Indy 27-21. Kanye Rockefeller on the kick return, 2 yards deep in his end zone after he just had one a few minutes ago. Go back for 6. Mark Lopez makes sure he wraps up Kanye on this return as everyone in Kings Coast was holding their breath.
Yeah, after that firework to start the second half with Kanye Rockefeller returning one for a touchdown, the Vancouver Legion special teams definitely making sure to bring Rockefeller down there on that kick return.
3 receivers, 2 to the left. Colin Pierce will flip it out to Ryan Roosevelt. He picks up 3, just his 3rd reception on 7 targets, has a drop for 16 yards. Indy's got a touchdown on a 46-yard score to Jay Viper. They did put together an 11-play drive, but then the Rockefeller return.
And credit to Vancouver's defense, who has held Ryan Roosevelt and had him on ice all game. Only 3 receptions for 16 yards for the league's leading receiver this season.
Pierce's pass incomplete, looking for Bamfield. Bamfield has not brought those balls in. I mean, the difficult receptions, to just to not be too harsh on Jeff, but 7 targets, just 2 grabs for 46 yards. Got to make that
and absolutely, but that's just credit to Michael Lister there coming up and hitting Banfield, not giving him the chance to come up with that completion. And we're going to see 3rd and 7. Indy's been pretty good on 3rd downs. Let's see how they fare in the second half on 3rd downs.
3rd and 7, under 6 to go in the third. That pass looking intercepted. Picked off by Major Key. Looking for Jeff Banfield. Key continues to play the game of his life.
After 4 passes deflected, that 5th one comes your way. After a tip pass by number 31, Drew Hamilton, the ball falls right into the hands of Major Key. And what a great play for Major Key there to create another opportunity for his offense. After you have a 6-point lead, let's see how they're going to drive down the field, or let's see how the Ramblers defense is going to respond after that huge interception for the Legion.
First turnover of the game. 2 receivers, bottom of the screen. Christian Brown outside of Robert Redford. Couldn't get that block from Walters this time. Picks up 3. Now we're starting to see a storyline develop in this one, Paul. It's the inefficiency of their top receivers being Indy. 16 targets for Roosevelt and Bamfield for just 62 yards on 5 grabs. That's less than 4 yards a target. Redford is pushed down immediately. Prine all over it.
Yeah, that's great defense there from Prine. And like you mentioned, Cam, these top 2 targets for Indianapolis, the Legion defense in secondary is playing them phenomenally. To hold them to 5 receptions, that's just incredible.
Bamfield catches about 70% of his targets this season, so 2 for 9 is way under his average. Wide open, everyone for Indy backed off, and Chris Curtis gets an easy first down. Bryant James on the tackle.
Chris Curtis with his 3rd reception in this game, moving the chains for Vancouver after a great route ran by him and a better pass from Christian Brown, as this Legion offense is starting to move down extremely efficiently.
2 receivers, 1 in the backfield. That's Redford to Brown's right. Left, Christian Brown. Over to Redford. Nothing there. Indy is really starting to key in on this play. Just 54 yards on 14 catches for Redford. That's just an average of 4 yards.
And hey, when you have a bell cow running back who has touched the ball 26 times now in this game, still with a quarter and 4 minutes to go, it's definitely what has made Redford the type of player he is in his career.
Brown outside, Blackwell, nice smooth route. Gets 7 to make it a manageable 3rd down. McCray Sr. and McDevitt out there on the stop, 3rd and 3.
And if you're on this Indianapolis defense right now, you have to try to get a stop here and not allow a first down, as if you can hold them to a field goal, it's still a two-possession game. But if Vancouver is able to convert here and possibly score, it's definitely going to be a tough task for the Ramblers to fight back.
2 for 2 on third downs in this quarter, and McCray Sr. knocks it away. Thought they were going to go to Redford up top, but I think after the last couple of times it's been covered up. Christian Brown tried to go elsewhere. Indy confuses the Legion offense, and they'll have to settle for 3.
And a huge play there from Ernest McCray Sr. to force a field goal here, and to be able to get that stop and force a fourth down was just great coverage by him, and that's just a great play for McCray Sr.
This is a 38-yarder for the league's top kicker in season 20. 38-yard field goal is good. 30-21. Vancouver has their largest lead of the day, 9. And when you put in perspective what's happened in this third quarter, Indianapolis has no points on offense. They've been outscored 10-0 in that category. They've got to get moving unless Kanye's going to do it all here in the second half.
And watching Kanye this season, you have to keep all eyes on him anytime he returns a kick, as he could take one back at any time, as we saw to start this second half.
From the goal line, Rockefeller strung out and hit at the 21. Actually poor field position coming up for the Ramblers. Colin Pierce, the struggles getting the ball to his top weapons have given him a struggling stat line of 52% completion, 14 of 27. Decent day for Colin Pierce, but he's had his fair share of struggles.
Yeah, and on the season, completing 70% of his passes, so definitely lower than the average for Pierce tonight.
Deep, Randy Pierce, he could not hold it, pull it in. Drew Hamilton swatted it away from him, and that's fourth time he's been targeted for 2 grabs.
And that pass there from Colin Pierce was right over the shoulder of Randy Pierce there, and that's just a huge hit there from Drew Hamilton to break up that pass and force an incompletion there.
Where's Jay Viper? 3 catches, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's been totally absent in the last hour of this game. Colin Pierce outside to Banfield. That's caught. 6-yard pickup to bring up 3rd and 4, and there's the stat line.
Yeah, Ryan Roosevelt, Jeff Banfield, pretty quiet in this game, and that's just because this Legion defense has completely shut them down. On 17 targets to only have 6 receptions is why we're looking at a Vancouver 9-point lead here.
Major Key's been a superhero. Colin Pierce going deep, and it is intercepted. Looking for Roosevelt. Mark Lopez picks it off. Indy's having a disastrous third quarter offensively.
Yeah, Colin Pierce definitely wishing he could have this one back.
Ooh.
And that's just a great interception from Mark Lopez, who has helped his team numerous times this season get the ball back. That's his 4th interception on the season. And Vancouver is in an extremely good position here in Indianapolis territory with a chance to increase this lead even a bit more.
Did you see that bump on Viper? That looked way beyond 5 yards. Christian Brown outside to Redford. Again, Indy's all over it. Only a 1-yard gain.
And with this clock winding down, that is exactly what Vancouver's looking to do. They're just trying to create these long drives that take as much time off of the clock as possible. But this Ramblers defense, someone's got to step up for them and force a turnover and create an opportunity for their team.
3 in the backfield. Christian Brown outside. Robert Redford has some more room. Gets a handful more. 16 catches. Legion lulling the Ramblers to sleep.
And this Ramblers team, we saw just the last 2 weeks, they do not give up until the clock hits 0, and they find themselves down 9, but they've came back from bigger deficits than that this season.
Christian Brown outside open. Nice read. James Walters once again, his 4th grab. That leads all receivers outside of BK12.
James Walters having himself an impressive game today. Just having an extremely efficient game anytime he touches the ball, averaging 16.3 yards per reception tonight.
Brown, 44 attempts, 32 completions, no picks after 7 interceptions just last Friday. Offside Indy. It's been a mistake-filled quarter that started with such promise. They had a 21-20 lead 20 seconds into the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and after that kick return, things just somewhat rolling downhill here as we see, I believe that's the 4th offsides from this Ramblers defense. And they're just trying to get a good jump on the snap, but jumping a little too soon as we see some extra yards going Vancouver's way.
To the Indy 29-yard line, the Ramblers, we talked about it earlier, they got to step up defensively. They just don't get a ton of interceptions, and they got none of them today. Handoff, Redford on a trap, and good job by the Ramblers to close down Rockefeller and Britton the third on the stop, 2nd and 1.
And not only does Kanye Rockefeller make big plays on special teams, he's now finding himself with 6 tackles, 7 assisted tackles, and just absolutely all over the field tonight.
Showing a blitz. They're waiting on Robert, and he's going the other way. There is a flag. I think they may get Walters on a hold outside.
Yeah, let's see what they call here.
Oh, a block in the back. That is going to be very problematic to this drive for Vancouver. We have seen a block in the back, a face mask, offsides. We've seen a lot today. I think they're calling that on Sawyer Stern, the fullback. It's going to set him back up 2nd and 12 outside of field goal range. Could have been worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Most definitely could have been worse for both teams, in all honesty, there. So let's see how Vancouver responds after that.
Out to Redford again. Stopped again. Loss of 1. Blake Prine has been a sure tackler on the perimeter. Vancouver going to have to try and get back into field goal range when we come back after these messages. End of the 3rd quarter that started Indy's way, but then the Legion struck 1 quarter away from winning their 8th consecutive first-round playoff game. You're watching the SFL playoffs on NLSC. We'll be right back.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome back to Kings Coast Stadium, Vancouver. Legion on top 30-21 of this SFL wildcard game. Alongside Paul Sarp, Ron Haynes, Ben Warner, I'm Cameron Irvine. 3rd and 13. Need some yards to get into field goal range. Christian Brown looking for slants. Nothing open initially. The pass is caught to Blackwell down to the 18-yard line of Indianapolis. Vancouver continues to grind out the Ramblers in the second half.
That is a great throw there from Christian Brown, staying in the pocket, throwing it right over the defense, right into the hands of Justice Blackwell, who now has 4 receptions for 44 yards on the night.
20 first downs now for Vancouver to just 8 for Indy. They've had nearly 200 yards more of offense. If they get a touchdown, it's still a 2-score game, but Indy's backs are against the wall right now. Christian Brown out to Robert Redford again. That is a 2-yard gain to the 16-yard line.
And that's going to be catch number 18 for Robert Redford out of the backfield. Only got 63 yards to go with those 18 receptions, but that has been Vancouver's bread and butter all night tonight.
He has 31 touches, and we still have 10 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Fatigue could start to set in late in this one. They want to get the points where they can. That pass is intercepted! Picked off by Indy's Angel Maldonado. And if Maldonado would not have tried to miss the tackle, she may have been gone here. Instead, runs into a lineman.
Definitely. Yeah, if Maldonado went outside, she was off to the races, Cam. But that's just a great job to get the ball back for your team. Instead of going down more than 9 and going down 15, they get the ball back with a chance to make this a one-possession game.
That was a stunner because Indy had lost all sense of themselves for the last 10 minutes or so as Colin Pierce gets it out to Roosevelt, picks up 7. Indy had 9 yards of offense in the third quarter.
Wow.
And to get that stop right there after giving up 10 unanswered was clutch. Maldonado's second pick of the season.
And it has came at a crucial point in this game for Indianapolis. Instead of going down more points, they have an opportunity to decrease the deficit here on this drive.
Colin Pierce, first down, 13-yard pickup. Oh, man, Roosevelt, back-to-back receptions. That could be dangerous if they can start to build some chemistry in the fourth.
Yeah, and Ryan Roosevelt is a bad, bad man through the air, as we've seen through 14 weeks of the regular season. #1 across the board in wide receiver statistics, and starting to gain some momentum here after that back-to-back receptions from Roosevelt.
Nickel look for Vancouver. Pierce's pass is incomplete, and it's Major Key again with his 5th pass deflection to go along with a pick. He's just out of control.
Playing an incredible game defensively, and 5 passes deflected in one game, where Indianapolis only has 7 as a team.
2nd and 10 at the 35. Colin Pierce going deep, and the pass is caught.
Got it.
Out to Jeff Banfield over Major Key. First down to the Vancouver 37-yard line. Technically, Major Key has been credited officially with 6 passes defended as Banfield has a first down.
And Banfield and Colin Pierce finally getting the best of Major Key on that play. And Banfield's been somewhat quiet. That catch now, his 11th target, 4th reception for 80 yards. And exactly what the Ramblers need to jumpstart this offense.
Indy trying to respond. They started the Vancouver 10-yard line after the Angel Maldonado pick. They looked dead to rights in this second half. That pass is dead in the water. No gain on the play. That's an understatement. You should lose yards for bad passes like that, Paul.
Yeah, Colin Pierce just throwing it, lofting it over the middle, not able to hit his receiver in stride. And we're going to see 2nd and 10 here for a desperate Ramblers offense who needs points on this drive.
8:31 left. Handoff, Christian Pierce. He has not gotten a carry in a long time. It's a loss of 1. 11 yards on 6 carries for Christian Pierce. 3rd and 11 coming up. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. 3rd down, 11, empty backfield. Colin Pierce going deep down the middle of the field. It is incomplete, and it's a hospital pass to Jeff Banfield just outside of field goal range. The drive may turn into nothing for Indy.
Yeah, and after Angel Maldonado created an opportunity for your offense, the Ramblers offense just unable to come up with any points to add to the scoreboard and find themselves punting on the Vancouver 38-yard line.
Can they flip the field? Vancouver blocked it! They'll get it at midfield! Rockefeller, in a bizarre twist of irony, recovers the fumble off the block punt. Vancouver's ball at midfield.
And this Vancouver team is playing tough tonight. To be able to block that punt and get the ball at midfield rather than possibly on the 2 or 3 yard line, that's just a great way to flip the field, as you just said, Cam.
More tremendous field position for Vancouver. I feel like they've been on this half of the field the entire game as Redford gets nothing again. They have been all over Robert Redford in this second half.
As far as on the ground, they're doing a great job at containing Redford, but after Redford's performance tonight in the passing attack, he's just having his way on the outside of the field with all of these receptions that he's been able to haul in.
2nd and 10, Redford again gets the touch, a 3-yard pickup, his 33rd attempt of any kind this game. Quickly 3rd and 7. Vancouver is 8 of 15 on 3rd down. They have had the ball an extremely long amount of time.
This is a big 3rd down for the Ramblers defense here.
75-50 in plays. Pass is caught. 1st down on the slants to the 38-yard line. Justice Blackwell. And, the clock becoming the biggest enemy now, Paul, is just as you said.
Absolutely, and that's just a great conversion for Vancouver and a great catch from Justice Blackwell, who's having a pretty solid game so far. And as you mentioned, the clock just keeps rolling.
Redford, another carry as they bleed him out. 1-yard pickup to the 37. 6:25 left. It was Michael Lister on the block punt. Time ticking away on the Indy season.
And Maldonado stepped up last drive. Either Maldonado or someone else is going to have to step up here and try to create a turnover here.
Brown to throw. Deep caught. Brett Killian to the 17. Killian's at 100. 1st down.
And yet another beautiful throw from Christian Brown right over the defense and right over the middle of the field, throwing it on the money for Brett Killian, who's having an exceptional game tonight. 5th reception for the century mark. You got 2 touchdowns to add as this drive continues for the Legion.
That defense has got to be feeling desperate and deflated, trying to come back in this one. That pass is knocked away and incomplete. But they have been doing all the heavy lifting in the second half. Not a single offensive point for Indy against this number 1 scoring defense.
Yeah, the Indy offense is definitely starting to slow down here in the second half. And Vancouver is most definitely taking advantage of that. When an offense can't put points up and your offense is rolling, it's definitely a tough task for a team like Indy to come back in a game that and how they're playing.
Christian Brown caught! How did he put that one in there? Touchdown! Brett Killian's third best play of the game.
And that is most definitely the best throw of the game. Wow. Through in between 4 Ramblers defenders to be able to find BK12 for the hat trick in the first round of the playoffs on NLSE. That was just a perfect pass from Christian Brown.
One of, if not the best passes of the season, in my opinion. That was in between
definitely
4 Indy Ramblers. 5:28 left, a 2-score game. But Indianapolis has grown desperate. You're watching the SFL Wildcard Playoffs on Next Level Sports. .528 left. Indianapolis Ramblers on their last lives here, trying to pull an upset in the first round and stop Vancouver's streak of opening round playoff victories. They are down now 16, largest deficit of the game. They need Kanye Rockefeller to give them something else. Can't give them anything more than the 23-yard line. And this offense that has not scored a single point in the first half is going to have to get 16 in 5:24.
Definitely a tough task for this Ramblers offense, who's been struggling, and this Vancouver defense has been incredible tonight, stopping the #1 passing offense in Season 20.
Just 50% completions, and Indy starts with a run. That is bizarre. 6 carries all day long for 11 yards. What were they thinking?
Yeah, and as this clock just keeps winding down, they got to take a shot here, as they need to start playing desperate here on their final last legs here, trying to tighten up this deficit.
Colin Pierce to throw, looking deep down the field. Oh, it's caught by Roosevelt in double coverage. I thought that was going to get picked for sure.
Absolutely. What a catch from Roosevelt there.
4:38 to go in the fourth. I don't know how that was completed, and that is going to be a sack. Someone is hurt. It's the sacker. Gerald Giudice is hurt. And even Colin Pierce is slow to get up. That's the last thing Vancouver needs, their pass rush getting crippled in the final stages here.
Yeah, but as far as that play there from Giudice, that's his second sack on the day, and the 2 lone sacks for the Vancouver Legion defense. Hopefully we can see him back out on the field before this game's over, but that's just a great play from a great defender.
So 2nd down and 12. Vancouver already a little thin on their defensive front coming into the day. That pass is caught by Roosevelt. First down to the Vancouver 42-yard line. Ryan Roosevelt started to take over. He's up to 7 catches. He's had 5 in the second half. First down. Slants down the middle. Caught Randy Pierce to the Vancouver 31-yard line. They are booking. 5 in the box. Pierce's pass is caught by Roosevelt to the Vancouver 16, a 15-yard pickup, under 4 to go.
And this is what they've been missing all second half so far.
Pass over the middle caught by Pierce. A lot of slants. Vancouver getting tighter and tighter on trying to stop it here. 2nd and 2 at the Vancouver 8. 3:43 to go. Can Indy get into something else? Indy end zone. Touchdown. Didn't need it. Didn't need it. We thought the same thing. Randy Pierce scores. They're a 2-point conversion away from a 1-score game. We are not done yet.
Absolutely. We are never done until the clock reads 0. And the Ramblers answering after being shut down all second half, minus Kanye Rockefeller's kick return. And if they can get this 2-point conversion, it's definitely going to be an interesting finish here, Cam.
Nickel look. 3 receivers. What's their call? It's going to be a Pierce throw. Pierce pump fake. Back in the end zone. Oh, dropped it. It wasn't Viper. I thought there for a moment Viper was the target, but instead it goes to Rocco McLovin, who drops a wide open ball. Oh.
Wow. That's got to hurt, and definitely needed to convert that 2-point conversion to try to get back in this game. But if they can recover this onside, they have another chance to make it a 1-possession game.
His first target of the whole game, and Vancouver recovers. That's Lister who blocked the punt at the Indy 40. First target of the game. Indy gets cute in the end zone, and it burns him. Oh, that's a tough pill to swallow.
And he burned the defender in the back of the end zone too. A perfect pass from Pierce. Wow.
Handoff, Redford dropped behind the line. It's a 3-yard loss. Quickly getting in to make the stop, Jabril Curse. Indy's still has a slim chance here, but the way that Vancouver has moved the football, it just, I mean, outside of Redford being totally fatigued, 35 touches now.
Yeah, and this Legion offense has been super impressive on these 2nd and long, 3rd and long situations tonight, as we see once more a 2nd and 13.
Under 3 minutes to go. Christian Brown fires it outside to Redford. Redford gets a couple. 3rd and 11, so they'll have to snap it before the 2-minute warning. I mean, Indy scored in 1 minute and 4 seconds on the previous drive.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, they need a lot of help after that really tough drop on the 2-point conversion.
And not a whole lot of time left, so let's see if they can get this Legion offense off of the field here on 3rd and 11.
Brown got to snap it. 6 in the box. Brown down the middle. Chris Curtis. First down to the Indy 25. One more nail.
And on what may have been Chris Curtis's biggest catch of the day to convert a 3rd and 11. and get a fresh set of downs headed into the 2-minute warning. That is just a great play there.
2-minute warning. Indy is in desperate times. The Legion looking to move on to the quarterfinals. We'll be right back for the conclusion and postgame after this. 2 minutes left. Indy has all 3 timeouts. Vancouver trying to put this one away and move on to the quarterfinals. Christian Brown is going to throw out to Walters. Risky play, but a safe throw. Timeout Indy. That picks up 5. The bracket reseeds, so we don't know yet Vancouver's quarterfinal opponent. That'll depend on what happens around the league. If Minnesota beats Alamo City tonight, Minnesota will go to Baltimore in the quarterfinals. If Alamo City wins that game, they will go to Atlanta. So we will know that later tonight, but nothing out of this game yet as the teams await other games to go final. Gerald Giudice done for the day, elbow injury. 3rd and 8 coming up for Vancouver. This is Indy's chance.
This is definitely the biggest 3rd down of the game for both teams. Vancouver trying to ice the game and leave their arena with a victory. Indianapolis playing desperate here on 3rd and 8. Let's see what's going to happen.
Christian Brown down the middle. That's Chris Curtis, and that is a carbon copy of what we saw, and that is a wrap. That was the play right before the 2-minute warning, and Chris Curtis was open again. Vancouver is going to get it done. Indy just could not get enough stops today.
Chris Curtis taking a big hit there, so thankfully he's able to get up after that one. And just what an impressive showing from this Vancouver offense and defense.
This Indy defense just could not get off the field on 3rd down. 11 conversions for Vancouver on 18 attempts. They're 6th in the SFL, coming in at 58%, but Indy's 3rd down defense 20th, giving up 56%. So 58, 56, you add it all up, and well, that's about where we are right now at 11 for 18. Indy just 3 for 10 on 3rd down. That was the difference.
Yeah, when you're a pass-heavy offense and you aren't able to come up with these third down conversions to extend the drive. It just makes it tough. And when your defense, they created a couple an opportunity or two for them, but just unable to stop the fight in this Legion offense, who Christian Brown, 42 for 56 on the night, 367 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Just a phenomenal game from Christian Brown.
Think how tired this Indy defense must be. 89 plays for Vancouver in this one to 58 for Indy. It was a long game, and Vancouver just wore the Ramblers down. They will go home with their heads held high in their second season. Going from 3-9 to 7-5 is a tremendous achievement. They just got Tyler Falk, a new general manager, signed up yesterday. Huge pickup for them. They're claiming they've already won free agency. Meanwhile, Vancouver will move on to where they have had all their problems in franchise history. 8-0 now all-time in first-round playoff games, 0-7 in second-round playoff games. Wow. Vancouver trying to get to the promised land. Step one is complete. 37-27. The Vancouver Legion are moving on to the quarterfinals. Congrats to Van. See you next season, Indianapolis. And this Vancouver defense, Major Key and company, Paul, they are going to be dangerous next round.
Most definitely. And the rushing defense to only allow 11 yards in an entire game is just incredible. This season, they're only allowing 65 a game, and to only allow 325 yards all around is definitely the reason why they are the #1 defense, and they absolutely showed it once more tonight, shutting down Indianapolis's passing attack. And just what a great game. Robert Redford, the game that he had, 18 carries, 77 yards, 19 receptions for 65 yards. It's just a tremendous performance from your franchise running back.
The overhits, Vancouver covers. Remember, they were down 21-20 at the start of the third quarter. They end up scoring 17 of the game's last 23 points. The failed two-point conversion really hurt, but at the end of the day, Paul, Indy wouldn't have gotten off the field anyway because they kicked the onside kick and Vancouver held the ball for the final 4 minutes of this one.
Yeah, they just couldn't get that Vancouver offense off of the field as Christian Brown just threw perfect pass after perfect pass on that final drive to extend the drive, get the first down, and wind that clock down to 0.
Look as the highlights continue. Jeff Bamfield, that pass is the lone bright spot. I know Major Key's not going to get the player of the game likely because pass deflections don't mean a whole lot in those analytics, but I mean, he was the player of the game, right? I mean, Brett Killian did have 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, not taking away from Brett Killian's extraordinary performance tonight, but Major Key just, when you're playing the #1 passing offense, Major Key just absolutely was everywhere and broke up numerous passes, had 5 unofficial passes deflected, and that's 5 opportunities that the Ramblers could have had to move the chains and extend their own drives.
We're in agreement. The Vancouver defense, #1 scoring defense, #1 in total yards allowed, beats Indianapolis's #1 passing attack. Brett Killian gets the player of the game for 2K Sports, 117 yards and 3 touchdowns. Well deserved. We got Major Key here in the booth. We're back to wrap it up after these messages. 37-27, Vancouver tops Indianapolis. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to, Paul, come back to me. Welcome to Sim Football Postgame as Vancouver tops Indianapolis 37-27. And the Vancouver Legion are moving on to the quarterfinals. They will take on likely either Baltimore, Fort Worth, or Arizona. So that's a look at your upcoming games there. Alamo City and Minnesota kick off in about 9 minutes, Paul. Who you got in that one?
As far as who I got, I think I got to lean towards Minnesota. When you're 11-1 at home in 2 seasons, it's tough to go against that when Minnesota's playing at home. I know they only put 10 points up last week, but we saw Vancouver only put up 9 points last week, and they were able to drop 37. So as far as Minnesota, Alamo City, I got to lean towards Minnesota in that one.
Vegas and London tomorrow afternoon. Who you got?
Just like Minnesota, I got to go with the home team. London is extremely tough when teams have to travel across the ocean and play in London's home arena. It's going to be a high-flying game, lots of points on the board, but got to lean towards London on that one.
A lot of pressure on Carolina. 1-6 all-time against Tulsa. Can they get it done at home tomorrow evening?
That's got to be the game of the week in my eyes. As far as who I'm leaning, it's going to be a back-and-forth game. Both teams leaning on the running back, but I'm going to go with Carolina as they have all of the momentum on a 3-game winning streak, and Tulsa is on a 3-game losing streak, so that's why I got to lean towards Carolina on that one.
No upsets from Paul Sarp in the first round. I think our best chance perhaps may have been here tonight with Indianapolis and Vancouver, but Vancouver gets it done. Watch out for those artillery, though. Minnesota's had some stumbles late, but they will have Northwood Stadium rocking, no doubt about that. Hall of Fame next week, and Brett Killian put on a Hall of Fame show tonight, Paul. 3 touchdowns. He gets the player of the game. It was pretty impressive to watch Vancouver bounce back from that 9-point effort last week against Portland last Friday. And so, it was great to see those Hall of Famers play so well. Chris Curtis had the couple of catches late, and then Robert Redford, they just fed him all day.
Absolutely. Big-time players making big-time plays and just playing at the level they've been playing for endless seasons, what it seems like at this point. And every time they touch the field, they're always making an impact to help their teams get win after win. And we see Vancouver advancing to the next round. Let's see if they can finally get that win in the second round of the playoffs, Cam.
Paul Sarp, we'll see you in the championship game, man. You'll be a part of our studio coverage, and it was great calling games with you all season long. We had a blast on Monday night with our Monday night crew, and can't wait to watch the rest of the playoffs, man. Thanks for being here all season.
Absolutely, Cam, and as always, I appreciate you for even bringing me on. I've had an absolute blast this season, and can't wait to join you again in this championship matchup, and can't wait to see who's going to be the 2 teams fighting for season 20.
For sure. We love you, Sarp, and everybody out there in SFL Nation. Thanks for watching the Wild Card Round. Quarterfinals kick off right here on Next Level Sports next Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, same time. Same place. We don't know where we're going, but we'll see you there. This has been the SFL, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Have a great night, everyone.